Yeah. Okay. So my name is Vipul. I am 2019 batch pass out from VNIT, and I have been working as a software developer for past 1 year, majorly as a full stack web developer uh, across various emerging technologies in the web development. So like I will be taking your backend development with Node.js and some of front-end development using vue.js. So today I thought that I'll just introduce some concepts we'll be covering in Node.js and also what are the requirements for the further development. Okay, so I will share my screen. Please let me know when it's visible. Okay.
Yes, the screen is visible.
Okay. So Rajat, I'll make you host. You can admit people who are joining now. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, I have made you the host. You can admit people who are joining in the between. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So in backend development, basically, it will be a quite different experience for you developing a backend than what you did until now. So it was HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So what Node.js has done, using the same knowledge which you have gained in front-end development, let's say JavaScript, you can develop a backend using that. So basically, it was a good opportunity for the front-end developers to do backend as well because it was using the same language JavaScript. Okay, so can anyone tell me like what do you know about Node.js? Anyone? No one, like something, some or the other thing like Laksh has taken, or you know something you have read somewhere. Yeah, okay. So I guess no one wants to answer. So don't be shy. You can talk in meeting as well. So there is no restriction. You can talk. IK, what's your name? Ishan, you can speak so that everyone can. You can speak what you have written.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, you can speak what you have written. Like anyone is allowed to speak when I'm asking question. So there is no restriction. Okay.
Sir, JavaScript is like we can say it as a type of language related to Java only, which I have seen. Like most of the things, like what to say, like the language which is there is more common like Java only, which I have done earlier. So it helps us to develop that in the console part. I have seen that in the previous classes that it helps to run some codes like making functions and all those things. So it is like an environment which allows you to write some codes, open source environment.
Okay. So like you explain more of a JavaScript than what is Node.js. So you were right somewhere, like all languages are some similar to each other. Java is similar to JavaScript, but they are two different things. Okay. So
Yeah, yeah.
JavaScript is completely different. Java is completely different. Okay. So Node.js, if you have gone to their website and seen the docs, so there, I'll just go to about. Yeah. So basically, in a nutshell, they have written Java Node.js is asynchronous event-driven JavaScript runtime. Okay.
Okay.
So you must be, all of you must be wondering what is asynchronous, what is event driven. Okay. So what in further lectures I will take, first point is what is difference between synchronous and asynchronous. How Node.js is different from all other backend technologies available, let's say in Python or Java or whatever. So how Node.js is different and how it renders your JavaScript into a like runtime, like how it does all the backend part, which like after we have written a JavaScript code, what it does, I'll explain you that. So inside that there is one more topic called as event loops. As you have seen, it is event driven and let's asynchronous. So it has something related to event loops that I'll be explaining what it is. So currently when I'm taking these names, it must be like going out of your head. So don't worry, we'll cover in next lecture. I'm just giving a overview. Then, so in like what asynchronous is, I'll just tell you brief so that you can understand the third topic. What asynchronous is, let's say you have written a line number 1, you have written line number 2, you have written line number 3, and line number 2 is taking some time, let's say 2 seconds to execute. What asynchronous nature does, it executes line number 1, it goes to line number 2, it waits for a, it adds that line number 2 to a queue, so that whatever 2 seconds are required for that operation, it will be processed back like as separately. It won't stop execution of other code. So this line number 2 will be added to a uh, queue, and line number 3 will be executed. So this is what asynchronous is. You might have worked in Python or other languages or PHP. So what happens there is the code executes in a order from line 1 to line whatever. Let's say you have 100 lines of code. So from line 1 to line 100, it executes in top to bottom order. So this is not the case with Node.js. So this is one of the powerful thing what Node.js has. Okay. So I'll teach you how to handle that behavior of Node.js. Sometimes this is beneficial, sometimes this is not beneficial. Okay. Then these three topics we will cover without creating any server, just .js files. So you must have taken Lux lecture. So he has given some example using .js files inside, like you can make for loops and other array methods he might have taught you. So same way, these three topics I'll take in similar way using just .js files. We won't be creating any server which is localhost server. Okay. Then after these, you are comfortable with all these three topics because these are quite different than what you code on day-to-day basis. So if you understand these three topics from the basics, it will be easy for you to code in Node.js. Okay. Then coming to fourth, we'll create a server afterwards. So with two different methods to create a server, and then we'll create a app where we will build uh, will like where we will be connecting to a database. Actual data will be stored to a database. We'll fetch from database, and we will have, let's say, request and response. Okay. So request is what front-end browser sends to backend. Response is what backend sends to front-end. Okay. So this is what we will be learning using Node.js. So while we are learning all this, we will develop a like database and all the logic such that we create an app for, like, we will be creating an employee app. Okay. So let's say if you are in a organization, there are hundreds employees. So we will create a app where request from front end can be made to backend to add an employee to the database, to edit an employee details from the database, and to delete employee from the database. So while we are learning Node.js, it will be only backend functionalities that will be working. Later, when we will be learning vue.js, we will integrate this backend with front end so that all creation, update and deletion of the employee can be done via frontend. Okay, so so these are called CRUD operations. CRUD. CRUD is create, read, update, delete. Okay, so if you are if you get confidence building this CRUD application with just basic understanding of Node.js, I'm sure that you will be in a good place to develop something else on your own. Obviously, you have to take efforts to learn new things because programming is a field where no one can teach you everything. Okay, you have to learn it yourself. Even I can learn from you guys, you learn from me. So it's not like that and anyone can learn from anyone. Okay, so that's what we'll be doing in further sessions. So there are some requirements that needs to be installed on your laptop. So I guess everyone has Node.js installed already, I guess. Laksh has taken some lecture on Node.js dependency, I guess. Uh, yes or no, like anyone can answer so that I'll skip that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So just again, I'll just tell you as in many of them didn't responded. So you can install LTS version. LTS means long time support. So it's better to you always use a LTS version of any framework or any language so that those LTS version are always bug free, or let's say we can say less bugs, because always there is some or the other improvement. So I recommend you install LTS version of Node.js. While you install Node.js, that comes with a Node package manager npm. So you need not to install it separately. We can directly use it. Okay. Then second installation that is required is MySQL server and a tool to access the database of MySQL. So this is I'll share this doc with you all so that you can go to these links and install. I have put links for Windows only. uh, those who are using Linux OS can take links from here. Like you can switch the OS here. Okay, so this is the tool for giving accessing the database basically. So MySQL server is running in like running minimized version, let's say on your OS. So with this tool you can access the database and tables. So this is MySQL installer. It will install the server. So you can install the community version. So I'm telling this in advance because many of you might be facing issue with the data limit every day. So you can install with your comfort within 2 days, like today and tomorrow. Okay. Then next tool is Postman. So what Postman is, we can execute a backend code whatever we have written using this. So basically we will have an endpoint. So postman.com downloads, if you are seeing this is called endpoint, and this is a get request. Okay, we are fetching a page. So similarly we will also be developing in our application. So to fetch the list of employees, let's say we will have some organization.com get employees. So it will fetch all. So those all request can be made via Postman without front-end application. So you can just test your backend whether it's working properly or not with this tool. You can read more about it. What is Postman? It's an Indian startup, recently got some $1 million investment as well. So you can read about their journey and all and what it does. So this is the view of it. Okay. The next is Git. How many of you are aware what is Git or have used in their coding while they are coding? Anyone who has used Git?
No, sir.
Okay. So I think I'll have to take a basic lecture on Git. I'll take tomorrow then, because what we will be doing, whatever you develop this application, I will like you are working in team, right? Team of two. So let's say I am giving some task to do. One person will do some task, one person will do another task. So Git helps us merging both of their code. So you might have seen GitHub. So GitHub is a cloud for keeping your code which uses Git. So Git can independently be installed on your local machine and you can use it. So I have also given the link for it. You can install on Linux OS or Mac OS or Windows, whichever machine you have. So shall I take Git, or you guys want me to skip it, because it will be helpful for you while you are working in team.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then I'll just quickly cover in next session what is Git. So basically Git helps in keeping a version control. So what is version control? Let's say I am writing here some XYZ. I can save the state of this file using the Git. Yeah, okay. And if I'm making changes in let's say XYZ to XYA, so we can have a history what has changed in the code, who changed it, and everything is managed by Git. So that helps in team development. Okay, so we'll cover that quickly in tomorrow's lecture then. First, as a prior requirement, and lastly is the you should have better googling skills, because that is must while you are programming. So even a senior developer googles lot of things. No one remembers the syntax. Okay, so this is what we'll be covering in Node.js. I have given brief application, how it will be and what are the requirements. So you guys can ask me questions, like we will have 10 minutes discussion kind of thing, whatever time we are remaining, so that I can understand what you want to learn exactly, and any doubts you have, anything you can ask. Just unmute yourself and ask.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So you said that Java and JavaScript are both different platforms.
Yes.
So why is this Java name being used in the script version? Why it is given the name JavaScript?
So you can read more about it, like
Because
yeah. Yeah, answer please.
because JavaScript was developed, means according to my knowledge, it was named as live script because it is something which provides life. So live script was the first name, but later they saw that due to market, or you can say that Java was prevailing at the time, so they just gave it JavaScript so that people should be influenced by this.
So like many of them confuse between Java and JavaScript, but they are completely different. Okay, so JavaScript is majorly used, previously was majorly used for front-end development, which was like which used to execute only in browsers. But with frameworks like Node.js, we can use it for backend server-side development.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can read more about it. You can come up here with some unique thing which you came to know about JavaScript, and you can share it in tomorrow's lecture.
Okay.
So while you are reading this document, you like I'll be sharing, so you can read what is different in Node.js. Like I have mentioned some keywords here, so what are those? So you can just Google what is, if even if you don't understand, just Google, try to understand what it is by yourself, so it will be easy for you to grasp the things ahead. So try learning yourself more than being dependent on anyone else. Okay. uh, Anyone else, anything?
Sir, I have heard about some other terms like Angular, React. So that they are also the part of backend now. So what exactly, matlab, these all things used to do?
They are not part of backend development. They are front-end frameworks. So Angular is a front-end
Okay.
development framework. React is front-end development library. They don't call themselves a framework. If you go to their official website, they call themselves as library, which helps in ease of front-end development. Vue.js is again a front-end development framework. Node.js is backend development framework.
Okay.
So we'll learn more about front-end development frameworks while we'll be learning Vue.js in further sessions after we complete Node.js. So why I'm taking backend first is anytime like any application you develop, you first set up a backend. So you should have a database, you should have logic, how the data will be stored. Everything should be first ready. So if you are creating an application later in your lifetime or any personal projects during the college time, so you will see mostly like you should start with backend. So even in our enterprise, we start with backend first, because for data to be displayed in front end, something has to be there in backend, right? That will get us the data. So first we do always do backend development. It's not like that ki we do first complete backend and then we do front end. Both of them go simultaneously, but backend is always ahead of front end. So that's why we are taking backend development first. Anything else? You can ask anything like regarding any doubt you had or you want me to cover.
Sir, in the sixth point, you said that creating and expressing apps. So we are going to make an application on Android Studio, something like that.
No, we'll be using VS Code as a code editor. Express is a frame like kind of package which helps in creating Node app easily. So you guys have heard of APIs? Anyone? So API is just an endpoint. Let's say google.com, which is linked to backend code somewhere. Like google.com is linked. It's a home route, right? It's not google.com front slash something. So it is linked to some backend function which returns some data. So basically API is that kind of thing. I'll teach all of you about API more in later sessions. So the API development, REST API, you guys can take it as a homework. What is different what is difference between REST API? Like what are the different types of API, and what is difference between REST API and GraphQL API? So these are REST API has been there in the market since long time. GraphQL API is the new tech stack which has been added. So you can learn more about it and share whatever are your findings among yourself so that everyone will know it. Okay. So Express is just a package that will help us creating a backend application easily. I'll explain in detail in later sessions. Okay. Just to be clear, we will be using VS Code for the development. So make sure everyone has VS Code installed on their machine. Yeah, so be quick with the questions. We have last 8 minutes remaining. Is everyone comfortable with timings 9:30 to 10:30? Or anyone there who is not comfortable?
Yes, sir, comfortable.
All of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So we can then end the session. Like you have any doubt still, you can ask. We have more 7 minutes.
So regarding that installation, sir.
Yes. Yes, what
So,
doubt you have?
so Node.js installation, there was an issue in my lab. I don't know what, but still it's not sorted yet. I just downloaded the version, but the packages and all, they're not installed. I've tried that npm whatever was told, but I don't know what's wrong.
Okay, so just make sure when you open a command prompt, if you are on a Windows machine or terminal, or if you are on Ubuntu, and type node-v. So if you are able to see the node version listed there, okay, then it has been installed properly. Don't worry about the npm packages. I'll explain you how it works exactly and what it is. Also make sure,
Yes.
like if you type just node in the command prompt, it goes into a different subshell kind of thing, and if you type some javascript code there, if it's giving you the proper result, then it's working perfect. If you are still facing issue, please put it on Discord group, the screenshot. I'll just explain you how you can fix it.
Yes, it's working when I'm entering the node. It's saying welcome to Node.js for whatever version and all. Everything is fine.
Okay, so I
It's
guess
saying,
it's installed. Don't worry
yeah.
about the npm packages and npm install. I'll explain what it is and how it has to be used.
Yeah, please, sir. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Anyone else facing any issue? Yeah, so you guys have gone through JavaScript properly. Like, just make sure you go through array methods. So if you just type array methods in JavaScript, just if you just Google, so there are different array methods. I'll open this one. So here you can find like dot find, dot includes, dot for each, dot map, so dot slice. So you can do different operations using these methods. So just go through these methods. I will tell mentors to share some resources with you on Discord as well. So just go through and try yourself. Take, like, let's say take two arrays, array 1, array 2. Okay, try merging them with any of this method. Okay, try finding the uncommon elements, try finding the common elements between the two arrays, try finding some particular value among all array, try dropping some value from the array. So try these operations on your side to make comfortable yourself with the JavaScript. So this is best thing you can start with, like arrays. Everyone has, like, everyone is comfortable with arrays. So the array operations, if you are learning in JavaScript, then further you can, it will be easy for you to catch up. Like you will be comfortable with the syntaxes and all. Even you can study more about objects. If you're like whatever Laksh has taught, you can learn yourself more about objects. So if you are facing any issue regarding getting some resources or video tutorials which are paid, just let college time know. We will see if we can arrange them for you. Okay, then anyone other questions? try going through these docs, like they have getting started guide, what they have, like try finding yourself what these keywords mean. Like let's make it interactive tomorrow, so that if I'm asking you anything, someone of you can explain it and others can listen to it. So let's make it interactive tomorrow. If you are aware of some words and how it works, no doubt I'll be explaining each and everything, but still from you should take efforts from your side as well.
So any other prerequisites from our sides before this?
uh, Not exactly regarding nodejs, so don't go into nodejs. I'll take that in a proper way so that you guys understand the basics of nodejs and how you should, like, whatever I'll be teaching will be the core basics of nodejs, what it is and what makes it different. In while we are uh, comfortable with the basics, we don't every time use those, like we'll be using in day-to-day coding while we are using nodejs, but not in a way I'll be teaching you initially. So the way we will be making our app, that is what we use mostly in application development in real life. So don't go into Node, just read more about JavaScript, try executing some code, try doing some things with array objects. You can get plenty of uh, questions on what to do for JavaScript beginners or whatever. Just try learning JavaScript yourself. Maybe tomorrow everyone just come with the answers. What are different types of declaration or variable types used in JavaScript, and what are their scope? So you might, like, I'll just give you example, constant and let. Okay, so these are different types of declarations what we make. So what are their scopes? So if we are using in some block, let's say for block, so what is the scope of var, what is the scope of let? So just read difference between what it is, what are their scopes. So when you will be clear when to use let, when to use const, when to use var. Okay, so we are short of time, we have less than a minute. So thank you everyone. I guess that was like you understood things. And